We've been talking the last few weeks about treasuring God. And Lord, I know that that is a challenge for me. I want to get the job done. I want to run right past the treasure of Christ. Knowing Him, I want to run past that to get stuff done. And Jeremiah 2:13, it says, "My people have committed two great sins. They have forsaken me and the spring of living water, and have dug their own wells, broken cisterns that can't hold water." That means that they've run right past, they've forsaken coming to Christ. They've put their idols in their work and their money and their people and their land and their property. That's where their hearts were. And that's where our hearts go often. It's what we try to find satisfaction in things apart from Christ. In 2 Corinthians 4:6, this is where the Apostle Paul, 4, 6, and 7, he says, "For God said, let light shine out of darkness. Make light shine in our hearts to give us the light of the knowledge of the glory of Christ." And then it says, we have this treasure. So the treasure is the light of the knowledge of the glory in the face of Christ. The treasure is in the image of God He's placed inside of us if we know Christ. This is the treasure. The second part of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. Verse 7 says, "But we have this treasure, the treasure of the light of the knowledge of the glory of Christ that He's placed inside us. We have this treasure in jars of clay. In our fragile being, in our challenges, in our weaknesses, God knows where we're weak. It says He sympathizes with us because He's been tempted in every way as us, and yet without sin." My final point is entering into this grace of Christ. The treasure is in us. We're fragile. We're crackpots. That's why Christ died. That's why that He was the one who was able to love God with all of His heart, soul, mind, and strength. And He loved God perfectly. And He loved others as Himself. And so we look to Him. And so that's why we're trying to slow down and recognize and make Him our treasure. Because He is the treasure. And you know why He's the treasure? He's not only is the treasure, He treasures us. God treasures His time with me. God treasures His time with you. God treasures that you seek His relationship. So in learning to do that, we have to identify, like the story of Mary and Martha. Jesus came to Mary and Martha's house, and Martha was running around trying to get everything done for Jesus. And she got upset. She said, "Jesus, tell my sister to help me. I'm doing all this work." And Jesus looked at her and says, "Martha, Martha, you're worried and bothered about so many things. And yet there's only one thing that's necessary." And Mary has chosen that one thing, being at His feet. Mary has chosen that thing that shall not be taken away from her. What was Martha's problem? She was distracted and anxious. What's our problem? We're often distracted and anxious. We're trying to please everybody in the world. We're trying to get ahead in the line. We're trying to drive faster than the person next to us. Slow down. Go to the back of the line. Learn to recognize Christ. This is where we are continually wanting to go these next few months.